What are Pope Gregory the Great's 7 deadly sins? Who's seen 7? Brad Pitt, Gwyneth Paltrow, come on. That's the only reason I know what the 7 deadly sins are. Help me out here. What are the 7 deadly sins? Avarice. Gluttony, he's good. Vanity, pride. Wrath, sloth. Okay, so here are the 7 deadly sins. Pride, gluttony, lust, sloth, greed, envy, and wrath. So, is pride the queen of all the sins, as Pope Gregory the Great said many years ago? Now, I said many times before, I'm not a religious man. I sang a lot of hymns when I was in primary school and secondary school, and that's how I understand a little bit about Christian kind of philosophy and morality, but I never really believed in the God. Pride, from a neuroscience perspective, may well be the ultimate vice that leads to all the other human vices, which ultimately lead us to be rejected by other people rather than brought together with them as one. Why? Well, pride in the science world is narcissism, and an awful lot of research has been done on the topic of narcissism. Narcissists love to be the center of attention. Don't worry, I've done the tests, I've done the Narcissism Personality Index, and I score 16 out of 40, which isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I'm quite high on the vanity stakes. I'm quite high on the authority stakes, but I do have a PhD after all. But some of the other things I'm much lower at, and so it all balances out. The problem with narcissists is that they always want to be the center of attention, but why? They want to be the center of attention because they think they're better than everyone else, but deep down it's because they have a fragile ego. They don't have a good sense of self. And so they annoy everyone in their life by constantly eliciting praise. Hey, look at me, praise me, give me positive feedback. Because inside they have no pot of gold, as some eminent neuroscientists have called it, a wellspring that you can draw upon to give you confidence when the chips are down, where you don't need feedback from the outside world. Now, the thing about narcissism is twofold. This thing, the MPI, the Narcissism Personality Inventory, has been around since the 70s, and most of the research has been done in the States. But decade upon decade upon decade, it's been done with large numbers of students. Yes, they're only college-age students. It's not necessarily representative, but the narcissism rate, the average score has gone up and up and up and up. So narcissism is getting worse. Psychologists who've investigated why this might be have boiled it down to a number of things. One, parenting styles. There is no such thing as a narcissist being born. A narcissist is made. Neglectful parenting styles leads to narcissism, and helicopter parenting, over-attentive parenting, plants the seeds of narcissism, but doesn't necessarily inevitably lead into it, because culture can protect you from it. If you're born into a culture that won't let you be a massive show-off, that will scold you if you think and act like the world revolves around you, then culture can constrain that natural brain-born urge to act like you're the center of the universe that all little kids have, and a lot of parents, so long as it's the Goldilocks zone, not too attentive, not completely ignoring the tantrums, somewhere in between, you can give that young brain guidance that changes it, that fundamentally changes the wiring of the human brain. Now, I'm not going to bang on and on about neuroplasticity now because it's not the place. I need to stick to the point. It's not one of my strengths. The point is pride. It's getting worse. Narcissism rates have gone up and up and up. And we can get into the influence later of celebrities, particularly reality TV shows. But I want to get to the main point, which is you can stick a narcissist in a brain scanner. You get the people who score high on the Narcissism Personality Inventory. You can get people that score low on the Narcissism Personality Inventory. You can scan 20 of one type of brain, 20 of the other type of brain, and look at how those brains react to various different types of circumstances. Now, because narcissists are incredibly sensitive, essentially, which is why they make everyone's lives around them miserable, if you put them in a predicament where they're playing a sort of silly game inside the MRI scanner, it's called cyberball, where you're passing a virtual ball from person to person in this game, and then the other two players start exclusively passing the ball between them. We've all been there in the playground, right, when you get left out. How does it make you feel? It makes you feel bad. Just a little bit bad? Or do you cry a little bit when you get home? It's horrible. Social pain is a horrible, horrible thing. And these neuroscience studies, of which there are several, have shown that one part of the brain will reliably light up over and over and over again, much more strongly in the brains of narcissists when they're socially rejected compared to your average non-narcissist. And ladies and gentlemen, that brain area is here and here. So this is the corpus callosum, the bundle of brain wires that connects the left and right brain hemisphere, and just above it is the cingulate cortex. In old school neuroscience textbooks, this is called the limbic system, part of the limbic system. But there's one little bit towards this is a brain like this, opening it up like a book, it's towards the front of the brain. This part of the brain reliably lights up when people feel pain. So for example, if you were to stub your toe